All right, let's talk about something that's been gaining a lot of ground lately. It's this idea, this movement, that's quietly changing how we think about, well, everything we buy and everything we throw away. It's called the zero waste philosophy.
I mean, seriously, just think about your last grocery run. You pick up some berries and they're locked in a plastic box. You get some crackers and they're in a bag inside another box. It's almost like for every bit of food you buy, you're also bringing home an equal amount of trash.
Yeah, this looks totally normal, right? We've all been here. A conveyor belt just loaded with stuff, and every single item is wrapped, sealed, or boxed up. This is just how we shop. But, it's also the very heart of a massive, massive problem. And this brings us right to the core of the issue, this world of packaging that we've built, almost by accident. At the end of the day, it's a simple trade-off we all made without even really noticing. We want things to be fast, we want them to be easy, grab and go, but the price you pay for all that convenience, it's these mountains of single-use plastic and cardboard that we use for maybe a few minutes before it's gone, tossed in the bin. So you have to ask, right? If this is the problem, is there actually another way to do things? Can we break out of this endless cycle of buying something, using it once, and then throwing it away? The answer is yes, absolutely. And that answer is found in this really cool back-to-basics idea, the zero-waste philosophy. Now, the big idea here is so simple, but it's powerful. This isn't just about getting better at recycling. It's about what happens before you even have something to recycle. It's about stopping waste from ever being created in the first place. The whole goal is to send as little as humanly possible to a landfill by just rethinking what we bring into our homes. And this image, well, it just perfectly captures that vision. I mean, think back to that supermarket checkout we just saw. Now look at this. Here, the food is the main event, not all the packaging around it. This is the goal, to get what you need and only what you need. Okay, so that all sounds pretty great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through how a zero-waste store actually works. It's probably simpler than you think. It's actually super intuitive. First, you just bring your own containers, could be jars, bags, whatever you've got at home. You put your empty container on a scale to get its weight, so you're not paying for that. Then, the fun part. You fill it up with as much or as little as you want. Could be nuts, rice, olive oil, you name it. And at the checkout, you only pay for the weight of the actual product. Simple. No extra packaging, no extra waste. But here's the thing. This whole movement is about so much more than just a different way to buy your groceries. It's really about changing our entire relationship with the stuff we own. And this quote, this just nails it. When you start thinking this way, you become a much more conscious consumer. You start asking yourself questions like, do I really need this? How much of it do I actually need? It totally shifts your brain from just passively buying things to actively and intentionally choosing. And you know what? The benefits start to ripple out. When you can buy exactly 2 tablespoons of a spice for a new recipe instead of a whole jar that's going to sit in your pantry for years, you cut down on food waste. You stop falling for those flashy buy one, get one free deals on stuff you don't really need. And over time, being that thoughtful can actually save you a good chunk of money. In fact, some people find they can cut their grocery bills by as much as 15%. And it makes sense, right? You're no longer paying for the fancy box, the branding, the marketing. You're just paying for the food itself. Okay, but we gotta be realistic here. If this is such a fantastic idea, why isn't everybody doing it already? Well, it turns out there are some very real hurdles on this path. And here is the big one. It all comes down to convenience. Let's face it, traditional supermarkets are designed for speed. You grab what you see, you check out, you're done. Zero-waste shopping? It takes a little more planning. You have to remember to bring your containers. It's a trade-off, really. A little bit of extra effort for a whole lot less waste. And these hurdles, they exist on both sides of the checkout counter. For the businesses, it can be a real challenge to find suppliers who can provide products in bulk, without packaging. And of course, keeping everything hygienic is a huge priority. And for us, the consumers, it's all about breaking habits we've had for our entire lives. It's about retraining our brains to remember that one extra step. So really, when you strip it all away, while there are some logistical puzzles to figure out, the single biggest obstacle is us. It's our own mindset. That pull of what's easy is so incredibly strong, and changing the habits of a lifetime, well, that's the real mountain we have to climb.
Which leaves us with a final question to think about. To really solve our waste problem, does the revolution need to happen out there on the store shelves with new business models? Or does the real change start a lot closer to home, right here in our own mindset, with how we think about what we truly need? What do you think?